I bet you're wondering what I was looking at. Follow me. So there's this book that I really, really like. It's called The Song of Achilles. It is by the author Madeline Miller. Here it is. It is honestly one of my favorite books of all time. That's just gonna sit there for the rest of the video. Get out of here, dude. This book is really important to me. I've read it 2 or 3 times at this point, and I just it has a really compelling story. The characters are described really well. It's beautiful imagery. You get really clear pictures in your head of who these characters are and what they look like, and it's just... Song of Achilles has a wide range in cast of characters. There's quite a few characters, but the main two are obviously Achilles and Patroclus, who is the main storyteller and perspective of the book. Achilles and Patroclus are like an item. They're together. This isn't a book review. I don't know how to write a book review. It's a good book. Keep that in your mind. And as it is a good book, other people have recognized that, and there's a fandom that has popped up around this book. While not very big, they do make really beautiful fan art. But I'm a film student. Dude, how many times do I have to say that? But as somebody who is interested in movies, interested in making movies, interested in being in movies, I began to wonder, if they're ever going to make a movie adaptation of this, because, similar books have gotten adaptations, like Red, White, and Royal Blue, and Heartstopper got a TV adaptation. Call Me By Your Name, while it's not at all similar in my mind, I think a lot of people find it similar. I could go on and on about how I don't like that movie, and I think it's a bad portrayal of gayness, and whatever. Okay, and it's visually nice to look at, so I get it. I did look it up, and I found an article by a book review channel that said that the book is not being planned to be turned into a movie at anytime soon. So that doesn't stop people from writing who they think should be cast in these roles anyway. So today, because I had to look at it, now you have to look at it. These terrible, not always terrible, sometimes terrible, strange, doesn't make any sense. Just jump into the nerds deep end with me on this one, okay? Dude, I don't know how to describe what these characters look like. So, the way that they're described, Patroclus has darker tan skin, darker tan to dark skin, dark curly hair. I don't know that they ever describe his stature. I know that Achilles is taller than him, and Patroclus is broader. I think more implied to be more muscular and I guess stocky is probably the word I would use. Stocky, and then Achilles is built for running. He has lighter but probably still olivey tan skin, as they are Greek. He has lighter hair. I think I've seen it as strawberry blonde, but I've also seen people argue that it's probably supposed to be chestnut brown. But spoiler warning, I'm so sorry, his son has fiery red hair. So I have always pictured Achilles as having a golden-y kind of strawberry blonde, probably maybe a darker strawberry blonde moment going on. Very golden sun aesthetic. I believe he has greenish eyes, and he's taller and built to be a runner because he is a demigod and he's very, very fast. So with that description, let's just go through my cast for... Let's start with Achilles, because I think that one is a lot easier for people to nail, because there's a lot of actors in Hollywood who could kind of fit that sort of athletic standard beauty. And I would, if this ever does become a movie or a series, I would very much love to see gay actors portraying these parts. I'm not of the mind that gay actors have to play gay characters, or that gay characters need to be played by gay or bisexual, pansexual actors. I think straight actors can do a good job in the roles, because that's what acting is. It is portraying something that is in some way different from just you as a person, but it is tapping into a part of yourself that is already there. So but I don't want but like obviously straight actors playing gay characters would take away that opportunity from a gay actor in some circumstances. So I think casting whoever would best fit the role is what makes the most sense, if that makes sense. And while it would be amazing to have a gay, bisexual, pansexual actor play these characters, it's not a hard and fast rule. It would be amazing though, because basically what I'm saying is there are some straight actors that have done amazing jobs in roles as gay people, and I don't think we should discredit that just because they are straight, I guess. So right now the top choice for Achilles is Gavin Caslegno, which I'm so sorry. My ability to pronounce last names is like down here, because the area where I come from has a lot of very English names, which are very easy to pronounce, so I have no practice in it. Irrelevant. But Gavin Caslegno, who looks like this. And for the purposes of this, we're going to go with how old Achilles and Patroclus are for the main meat of the book, which is aging from around the narrative is continuous from ages around 16 to, well, okay, so for a lot of the book, a lot of the meat of the book, they're from ages like 16 to 20-ish, and then there's a time jump to when they're about 27, which I think if you cast it well, it could be the same actor playing both parts, but irrelevant. We're just going to pretend that they could play the whole age. So Gavin Castelagno, just looking at him, and Achilles, I think he's drawn a lot having longer hair, and I think that is canon as well. He's an American actor. He's 24. It looks like he has blue eyes, brownish blonde hair. I think the thing for me is that there is a look to like ancient Greek heroes. Like if you see statues, and they have the very distinct side profile that it looks like, and I don't think any of these actors really have that, which is, I guess it could work. I'm not opposed to that. Vinnie Hacker, already right off the bat from this picture, that's going to be a definite no from me. Hugh Lawton Scott, I don't know who that is, but he looks too American, if that makes sense. For a lot of these people, I think what it is for me is that a lot of these people look modern, and what would really need to happen is that you need somebody who looks like they could exist in that kind of Mycenaean-ish time. Sort of they need to look mythological, and I don't know how to describe it better than that. All these people, they just look very American and very, very American, I guess, is what I would say. Yeah, Peyton Meyer, definitely not. He looks like he's from Texas, and I definitely feel that way because his character on Girl Meets World was from Texas, but, I mean, look at him, right? He looks like he's from Texas. Yeah, I don't think any of these people are doing it for me. They all look, for lack of a better term, they all look very straight. I imagine Achilles with more delicate features. Almost feminine, because he is able to impersonate a woman at certain points in the book. So I feel like he needs to have very delicate features. I wonder almost if a trans actor, a trans masculine actor, would portray the part better for having those delicate features, because I think a lot of male actors don't have those because it's not seen as desirable in America, the way that K-pop idols often look very feminine sometimes because of how their makeup is. Um, we need something like that almost. But that being said, this Luke Eisner guy or River Phoenix, I think River Phoenix looks like Peter Pan to me. I feel like he looks like he could very easily play Peter Pan. So I think these two are good. I think Michael Hoog, I don't know who that is, but his eyes are very piercingly blue. That's definitely just the color grading on this photograph, but oh, that's crazy. Okay, so with that, you see what we're working with here. You see that it's not exactly like a lot of them look the same. The Sam Coughlin guy, I don't know where that came from. That's totally off. I almost just revealed who Patroclus is. Weirdly, the description for Patroclus is written as Gavin Casalegno, who is currently the top choice on this website for Achilles, which is really funny. But and I'm gonna need to put something over to spoil this because it's gonna be the big reveal. But obviously that is not. That is obviously like okay. The way that Gavin Casalegno looks in this picture is honestly a lot of what I see Patroclus looking like, but I don't personally feel like that's the case. I think maybe when he was younger, he was like kind of that awkward gawky kind of look. Not that Gavin Casalegno looks like that, but I think he could portray that in the Hollywood way. I'm just rambling, dude. This is not as dramatic as I wanted it to be, but let me explain to you how I felt when I first saw this, okay? So I'm like, it's nighttime. I'm like, oh, geez, I wonder if they're going to make a Song of Achilles movie. Because please do. It would be beautiful as a movie. Trust me. And so I'm scrolling. I see this blog post that describes it as Call Me By Your Name, but set in ancient Greece. And first of all, that's the first red flag because no. No. Maybe let's stop comparing every gay story to Call Me By Your Name just because it has sex in it also. Call Me By Your Name has a age gap problem for sure. Oh no. So I scroll down to see who their casts for Achilles and Patroclus are because on this particular blog they only had the cast for those two. And right off the bat, Achilles, played by Liam Hemsworth. Liam Hemsworth, guys. Thor. No, that's Chris Hemsworth. Liam Hemsworth, Australian, definitely the wrong look. Now, he is somebody that looks too modern. There's nothing against the Hemsworths. I think for superheroes, they are very well cast because that's how they look. They look like the way modern superheroes do, but no. And also, Miley Cyrus divorced him, so maybe not him. I don't know. So right off the bat, insane choice, first of all. And it's gonna be, they made it more Call Me By Your Name by casting Patroclus as Willard Wonka himself, Timothy Chalamet. Dude, okay. And I'll reveal it right now. This website also has Timothy Chalamet, and he is the second choice. He actually has more votes, yes, than the top choice, who is Omar Rudberg, who I think Omar Rudberg would actually do a really nice job. I think he was in Young Royals. He is, what's that guy's name? Simon in Young Royals, and he does a really nice job. I think that could work really well, actually. Anyway, Timothy Chalamet. First of all, Timothy Chalamet is the palest person I've ever seen in my life, and that's saying something. Because New England has no sun any time of the year. I honestly think he probably just looks paler because his hair is really dark. But anyway, palest person I've ever seen in my life to play a darker skinned character. Right off the bat, no thank you. And second of all, get him out of gay movies. Okay? This is nothing about Timothy Chalamet's acting chops. I think he's a talented actor. I saw him in Wonka recently, and he did a nice job. I think he's done a nice job in movies that I've seen him in, but stop casting him as a gay character because he just becomes a stereotype of what, like, twinks are supposed to look like, or he is the default when you want somebody with like delicate features, which he doesn't have. He has bicycle seat face. That is not delicate features. That's just sickly Victorian child. He looked like he had buccal fat removal, and he didn't. And I'm not saying he's ugly or anything. I'm just saying there are other actors who can play a similar character, who have a similar look that aren't Timothée Chalamet. I think there's nothing wrong with Timothée Chalamet. He's a talented actor. Okay, I can't get the image out of my head of a 20-year-old Timothée Chalamet and a 30-year-old Armie Hammer playing a 17 and 23-year-old respectively, looking like Timothée Chalamet is an actual child. And I know he's aged since then, but not really. And he has that like weird piercing gaze that I don't really like. And I think if you have somebody like Gavin Castellagno or whatever playing Achilles, or even Liam Hemsworth, and then Timothée Chalamet as Patroclus, there's no visual interest there. There's no visual contrast between those two people. Like, other than the fact that, oh, Liam Hemsworth, big, strong, and Timothée Chalamet is, like, lean and whatever, which I almost think reverses the point. Like, nothing wrong with Liam Hemsworth. He's not built like a runner. In my opinion, from runners that I know, Timothée Chalamet is built more like a runner, so it's almost like they're flipped. Timothée Chalamet also shouldn't play Achilles because he has the... That's like if Achilles took way more after his mother, who is a demigoddess of the ocean, by the way, and is very, like, pale, described as very pale, very tall, very almost gaunt, kind of deathly looking. So that would make sense in that aspect, but that's not how he's supposed to look, I guess. At the end of the day, there's a lot of up-and-coming actors, a lot of people that aren't as famous, a lot of unknown faces that could do a lot better of a job playing such a character like Patroclus that could use an opportunity like a Song of Achilles movie to get their name out there. And, in a way, I think famous actors being in every single movie kind of is to the detriment of such stories, because when you have unknown actors, you're not focused on the whole time like, oh, that's Anne Hathaway, or oh, that's Timothée Chalamet the whole time you're watching it. Because then you're just focused on the story because you've never seen this person's face before. You haven't seen it plastered all over everything. So you're not thinking about, is this better than that other movie they were in? Like, this is this famous actor, so I'm expecting this. You're just watching the story and watching it unfold, and you're able to connect to that on a deeper level in that way in some contexts, I think. And I think if the Song of Achilles movie was ever to be made, the detriment would be using very famous actors, because you would only be able to think about it in the terms of those famous actors and not the story, which just has so much to it as a whole that I think it would actually be to the detriment of the story to use really famous actors. And all that's to say is that I want to play a character. I want to play a character in the Song of Achilles movie. That's it. That's the whole thing. That's why I'm mad about it. I'm just kidding. I'm not really mad. I'm not actually worked up. I know that's how it seems in this, but I just have a lot of passion for this story, and I think that if there ever was a movie to be made, I would like to be a part of it, whether on screen, on set, writing, helping, producing. I'm not going to produce. I don't have money. In some aspect, I would love to be involved with the creation of this movie, because this book and this story is something that means a lot to me. Madeline Miller's other book, or one of her other books, Circe, also means a lot to me. That's also a very important story to my life. I read it in a book club in high school with my friends that I'm very close with still, and I just think that this is a story that deserves an on-screen adaptation in a way that's in a way that is faithful to the characters and faithful to the story that the author is trying to tell. And I don't think that Liam Hemsworth or Timothée Chalamet or even Gavin Castellagno would be able to portray in an accurate sense. So, that being said, nothing against any of these actors. I don't hate any of them. I think they are all talented. I just don't think they are right for this particular thing, because there is an image in my mind that is so secured, and maybe I should evaluate whether there even is an actor who would be able to fulfill this sort of to perfectly fill the vibe to perfectly fill the picture in my head that I have of these characters. And just sort of like in fandom culture as a whole, are there actors that could ever accurately portray how people who enjoy the book see characters in their head? Because it definitely doesn't seem like it's possible, but I do think you can do better than those people. With that being said, thank you so much for listening to me absolutely lose my shit for the past however long this video ends up being. I appreciate you sticking around. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Maybe comment who you think a good actor would be, or comment the funniest thing you can think of. Comment the funniest thing you can think of. That's my challenge to you. And I will see you tomorrow with a super awesome video where I go into battle against the Trojans.